Alright, so it's 8:05 p.m. Salam sejahtera, good day everyone. So thank you very much for attending this session virtually. So pada hari ini, today we will learn about Power Query. So let's get started. So my dear friends, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, pada hari ini kita akan belajar kegunaan Power Query. So let's get started. So in today's webinar, you will be learning about Power Query. But first, kita kena faham apakah kegunaan Power Query. What is Power Query? Sebenarnya, kalau kita lihat dalam bahasa Inggeris, in English, Power Query or the word query means, in English, query means basically dia macam inquiry ataupun soalan. But when we talk about IT perspective, and the element of data perspective, query ni dia lebih kepada arah vehicle. So dalam bahasa IT, query ni adalah satu vehicle which connect data from one source to another source. That is query. So regardless Power Query ke, function query dalam Google Sheet ke, BW query ke, SQL ke, query is basically a vehicle that connects data from one source to another source. So contohnya, I nak pindah daripada Excel kepada Excel. Saya nak import Excel ke Excel. Saya nak import Google Sheet kepada Excel. Saya nak import just say PDF ke Excel. I can use query. Power Query. So right now, dalam query ni sebenarnya, we want to actually understand the types of query. So we do have BW query. BW stands for Business Warehouse. Manakala, we also have Power Query, which is what we are going to learn in a while. And then kita ada query function dalam Google Sheet. And we also have SQL. So SQL stands for Structured Query Language. So basically, query dalam bahasa IT ni is basically a point ataupun a vehicle, kenderaan yang tarik data daripada satu tempat kepada tempat yang lain. So right now, we want to actually understand sebenarnya, okay, what is BW query, what is Power Query and so on. So BW query ni, dia lebih ke arah connect data from SAP, because normally in some companies they have ERP system. So ERP system ni di mana dia ada all this information, data, finance, human resource tu. So daripada German software tu SAP kepada Excel. And then you have Power Query, which we'll be learning in a while, and then query function dalam Google Sheet. So all this sebenarnya dia boleh tarik data. It's a vehicle that connects data from one source to another source. So tapi kan, kita nak faham, okay, Power Query ni apa function dia? Power Query ni dia boleh buat tiga benda. E, T, L, whereby E for extract. Dalam bahasa yang senang, in order for us to understand, okay, what Power Query can do is, Power Query, one of it can extract data. Extract means it can actually import data from external source. Manakala, we also have T for transform. So in order to understand transform ni, the word transform means it can actually unpivot the data. It can perform a massive data cleaning, a massive data transformation. And kalau saya nak cakap terus terang, perkataan transform ni not 1 hour, not 2 hours, not 1 day, not 2 days, sebenarnya adalah 2 semester untuk kita memahami lebih mendalam berkenaan dengan transform. So what transform does is, it can actually perform data cleaning ataupun data transformation. Ada macam-macam lah. Unpivot column, dia boleh buat text combination, dia buat list count, mQuery and so on. Next is load. Load is basically the output. So you nak output dalam bentuk apa? You nak output dalam bentuk table ke? You nak output dalam bentuk pivot table ke? You nak output dalam connection pun boleh juga. So Power Query is a tool which can do 3 things. E, T, L, whereby E stands for extract, boleh import data, T for transformation, and L for loading the data. So right now, we will do a case study. Kita nak faham, okay, sebenarnya, what is the kegunaan? What is the uses of Power Query? So in this particular case, what I want to do is, I actually want to import Excel data from Excel to Excel. That means I want to import a data from Excel to Excel. So if I want to import data from Excel to Excel, how I want to do in Power Query? Okay, first thing is, what you need to do is, you need to use your mouse. So if you have your mouse, you use your mouse. You use your mouse and you click data. Once you click data, the next thing is you click get data. Bila you tekan get data, the next thing is you click from file, and bila you tekan from file, the next thing is you pilih Excel workbook. So meaning to say, if just say you have your mouse, or if just say you don't have your mouse, you can use your finger on the keypad. So mouse use and click on the data. So if you notice carefully, kalau anda lihat dengan lebih teliti, kat sini ada perkataan data. Bila you tekan get data ni, the next thing what I say is get data. Kat mana get data? Dia bukan kat tengah-tengah, dia bukan kat sebelah kanan. Sebenarnya data ni, the get data is on your left, pada hujung kiri. On your left, there is an icon called get data. Kamu buat apa? Kamu klik get data. So basically, it can tarik. It boleh extract data from multiple sources. But what we want to do is, we want to import from Excel. So kalau from Excel kat mana? Excel ni sebenarnya from file. So ikutlah. In some cases, we want to tarik from PDF pun boleh. In some cases, kita nak tarik daripada JSON document boleh, because there are certain e-invoices dia documented dalam JSON. But in this case, kita nak faham how if just say kita nak import data daripada Excel. So kalau macam tu, kita akan klik from Excel workbook. So once you click Excel workbook, you will notice that a box will appear. Satu kotak akan keluar. And then you need to choose the file accordingly. So kalau kamu ada file berkenaan dengan procurement, kamu ada file berkenaan dengan inventories, so you need to choose the file accordingly. So in this case, I will choose the file of variance 001 January report. Once I choose the file already, you will notice that another box will appear. Lagi satu kotak akan keluar. Dalam kotak tu, what you need to do is, you need to choose the worksheet. Kamu kena pilih the worksheet. So in some cases, the worksheet can be January 2026. Some worksheet ada worksheet 1, worksheet 2 and so on. So in this case, the worksheet name is variance. Once you click variance already, the next step what I'll do is, I will press load. And automatically what happen is, dia akan load terus. So basically when you press load, dia akan load terus kepada table format. So let's do it together so that we can understand, deep dives and understand. So over here, mouse, I will click on data. Once I click data, the next step is, I will click on get data. Kat mana get data? Sebenarnya on your left. Pada hujung kiri ada perkataan get data. Tekan kat sini, from file, from Excel workbook, you will notice that a box will appear. Bila kamu tekan Excel workbook, you will notice a box will appear. So you need to know where you save your file. So in these cases, sometimes ada orang dia save dia punya file tu dalam documents. Ada orang pula dia save dia punya file dalam downloads. And sometimes there are cases we save the file in the desktop. So just say I save my file in the desktop. So I'll click desktop, and pada desktop just say I want to click on this folder, this particular folder. So my data is that I want to import is from variance, case study 1 variance. So I'll just click the file and I will choose variance report 001 January. Bila saya tekan kat sini, then you tekan import. When you press import, you will notice that another box will appear. So happen when you click the particular file, another box will appear. And in this file ni, you need to choose the worksheet. So you can choose multiple worksheet, or you want to choose that one particular worksheet pun boleh. So what is the worksheet? The name of the worksheet. Kalau PDF, we have the name of the table or the name of the page. So I'm going to click here, and then like what I told you, I will actually click load. So dia akan load terus kepada table format. So over here we have load, we have transform, we have cancel. So kalau you salah tekan ke, or you accidentally press the wrong file, you can actually press cancel. But what I told you is I will press load. Whether you want to click kat sini pun boleh, or you want to click kat sini pun boleh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click it over here. When I click over here, automatically you'll notice dia akan import the January table. Dia akan import the January variance report. So now some of them they ask me, actually what is the use of Power Query? Dia macam copy paste saja. So you want to actually understand, you want to actually mengpai, nak memahami kegunaan Power Query ni. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you on data source settings. Meaning when I click data, over here ada data, over here ada get data, and then there is a word here called data source settings. So right now what happened is we already import data, but what we want to do is we want to learn about the data source. Change data source. Sebenarnya kan, apa kemewahan, apa kelebihan Power Query? Well, one of the thing is instead of copy paste, or we move the table, move the worksheet, the Power Query not only can import the data, it can also change the data source. Whereby, number one, what we do is we use our mouse, we click data. Once we click data, we will actually click on get data. Bila kita klik get data, the next step is we click on data source settings. Bila kita tekan data source settings, you will notice that a box will appear. Satu kotak besar akan keluar. Once you click the box, once the box appear, you kena tekan change source. Once you tekan change source, then you kena tekan browse. Once you tekan browse, the next thing is you kena pilih the correct file lah. So pilih the latest file. Choose the latest file. So once you choose the latest file, okay, so let us understand together. So over here kan kita ada January, right? So sometimes the reporting we have the subsequent month, just say February. So data, get data. So this is the notes. So click data, get data, data source settings. I click over here, and then you will notice that a box will appear. So kotak ni what I do is I click change source. So I click change source, and once I click change source, you will notice a box will appear. So dalam kotak ni I tekan browse. Bila saya tekan browse, I need to choose the latest file. So just now initially I pilih file January. So now I'm going to choose file February. I press import, I press OK, I press close. So right now what happened is I can go to this particular worksheet, I can click refresh all. When I click refresh all, automatically you will notice, kamu akan lihat dia akan tukar. It will change to 28 February. So basically what it does is it can actually change the source. So what Power Query does is it's not just copy and paste. It can import the data and eventually it can change the source. So let us do one more time so that we can get a clarity. So what I'm going to do is I will go to data, get data, from file, then not from file, from data source settings. From data source settings, what I'll do is I'll try to click on change source. Once I click change source, because the intention is every month I need to do the update. So don't tell me every month kamu nak just copy paste ataupun recreate the pivot table. You can actually do what? You can actually change source. So you click here browse. Once you tekan browse, tadi kita pilih February. So now I'm going to pilih March, and I'm going to press import. I'm going to press OK, and then I'm going to press close. So now what you can do is you can also click over here refresh, or you can right click on the table and kamu tekan refresh, and just like that it will actually change automatically. So my dear friends, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, basically what we are learning is we are learning how Power Query can tarik the data and how we can actually do the data automation. So now let us do one more time so that we can get some clarity. So let's redo one more time. So this time I will try to import data daripada Excel to Excel, but cumanya there will be some slight difference. The difference is, of course, the step 1, step 2, step 3 all will be correct. Cumanya for the step 4 ni, I want to press load to. So when I press load to, you will notice that another box will appear, and in this time I'm not going to just load as a table. Instead, I actually want to load as a pivot table. So what if just say, because sometimes some reporting, every month we receive the file from the email, we receive the file from Microsoft Teams or SAP, and then what we want to do is we want to do some automation. So let us do one more time. So I'm going to click on data, get data from file, and then from Excel workbook. So this one is importing the file, extracting the file. Then we choose the particular file. So the first thing is you need to ask yourself where you save your file. Do you save in your download? Do you save in your document? Or you save in your OneDrive? Once you know where you save, you need to ask which is the file name. What is the file name? Once you know the file name, you press import. So you select the file accordingly. Then another box will appear. So I'm going to select over here, and I'm going to press here load to. So when we click load to, sebenarnya ada banyak option. When the word load is, it can actually produce in a table format. It can also produce in a pivot table format, or it can also produce in pivot chart or only grade connection. So in here, I wrote the word pivot table. I click over here, I press OK, and just like that, dia akan load as a pivot table. So now, contohnya, kalau saya nak just create a random pivot table, so I'll just click, just say on department, actual expenses, and then let me just zoom this. Of course, my data is not formatted properly because I want to share to my manager. So I will just press right click, and bila saya tekan right click, what I want to do is I want to click on number format, and then I will try to change to a accounting format. Okay, so accounting format, maybe no symbol and maybe no decimal places, and I press OK. So right now what you'll notice is memang pun dia akan menunjukkan data-data which is all about 15 million. Okay, so right now this is a January data. So what I want to do is I want to actually update accordingly. So what Power Query does it is able to change data source. So how to change the data source? You go to data, click get data, then data source settings. Data source settings. Bila you tekan ni, a box will appear. When you click here, you will notice that a box will appear, and then what you do is you click change source. Where is the word change source? Well, my dear friends, what you do is you click over here change source. Bila you tekan change source, you will notice that a box will appear. So you just tekan browse. Bila tekan browse, the next thing is, okay, just now I pilih January. The subsequent one is February. So I tekan February, I tekan import, and then I press OK. And then the next thing is, what I'll do is I just press close. So right now memang nampak macam no difference. So what you can do is you can click refresh all, or you can right click your mouse and you tekan refresh. And just like that, you will notice now it will show you about 29 million. So maybe let me repeat one more time so that you get a clarity. So click data, get data, data source. So data, get data, then data source settings, and then change source, and then what you do is you just click browse. Bila tekan browse, and then just say, just now we pilih February, now we pilih March. When we pilih March, we press import, and then we tekan OK, and then we press close. So now it doesn't look anything, but when we right click and refresh, automatically it will change accordingly. So my friends, if you can hear me, if you are with me, sila type nombor 3 dalam chat box. So if you can hear me and you can roughly understand, of course first thing is we want to actually merangkat dulu, memahami kegunaan Power Query. So thank you for typing number 3. So my dear friends, just to let you know, this Power Query ni is a very huge topic. dia adalah satu topik yang besar. But now, thank you for typing number 3. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to actually give some disclaimer. You see, now, you memang dah able to change data source. But what is the disclaimer? Can it happen for every file? Well, there is some disclaimer. Ada disclaimer. Disclaimer dia adalah nombor 1. The worksheet kena same name. The worksheet kena same name. Nama worksheet kena sama. That's number 1. Number 2 is the header kena nama yang sama. Same name. Sometimes not only same name, same ejaan, but also same case. Uppercase, lowercase, proper case. So now let us see together. So now I'm going to open my folder over here. So dalam folder ni ada case study 1. So I click the case study 1. I open variance report 001. When I open the report, you will notice that the name of the worksheet is variance. The name of the worksheet is variance, and you will notice that we do have date, cost center, department, cost element. So this is the template, this is the header dalam the variance 001 worksheet. So very important is the worksheet kena sama. So just say I pergi kepada the March file. So when I go to the March file, you will notice dia bukan je on the same header, bukan je header yang sama, date, cost center. The very important part is the worksheet name ni kena sama. Over here normally ada sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. So over here worksheet kena sama and the header kena sama. Regardless of the susunan, maybe the date can be located on the C column, the cost center can located at the last column, doesn't matter. But the most important thing is you need to have correct number of columns. So for example, here kita ada berapa column? Kita ada exactly about, if you notice over here, let me just show you. Over here, if you notice when I highlighted the data, kita ada about 9 columns. So you need to make sure that you have the same template, same 9 columns, and more important, you kena ada the correct header name. If just say you don't have the correct header name, then you are not able to fulfill the process. Dia kena guna cara yang lain sebenarnya. Alright, so that is the disclaimer. But right now, what we are doing is we are actually importing Excel to Excel. But this case, what we do is sebenarnya kita tukar file. That means kita ada Jan punya file, kita tukar kepada February. February punya file, kita tukar kepada March. But there are cases where when it comes to procurement, stock in, stock out, human resource, onboarding, manager wants monthly basis. That means January not tukar file, but instead January tambah February. And then not only March, but what the manager wants is, if you notice carefully, the manager wants not only January, February. The manager wants January, February, March, and then April. So every month kena tambah file. So in this case, can we just import data from Excel? No. In this case, what we'll do is we will import data from folder. So in this case, because this case is kalau January kepada February, January, February kepada January, March, we will use from folder. So what we will do is, I'll just write down the step. Step number 1 is, kalau you ada mouse, you use your mouse or you can use your finger on the keypad. You do what? You click data. So where is data? Like I show you just now, over here, there we have a data ribbon. Kat sini ni, there is a data ribbon. After you click data, you need to click on get data. You need to click on get data. And then what you do is, after you click on get data, then you click from file, and then not from Excel but from folder. So instead of importing the particular Excel file, we will import from the particular folder. Once we import from the particular folder, step kedua, the second step is, what we need to do is, you will notice a box will appear. satu kotak akan keluar. Dalam kotak tersebut, what you need to do is you need to choose the folder accordingly. So your folder can be maybe variants, your folder can be maybe inventories in, inventories out, OPEX, CAPEX, ikutlah. But in this case, my folder name is claims. And then once I choose the folder already, another box will appear. Lagi satu kotak akan keluar. Dalam kotak tu, what you need to do is you need to choose the combine and load to. Combine and load to. Once you choose combine and load to, number 4 is another box will appear. And dalam kotak tu, what you need to do is you need to choose the worksheet. So normally, because they need to know where is the data is located in a worksheet, and in this case the name of the worksheet is not sheet 1, the name of the worksheet is basically claims. And then what we do next is we can just press, okay, another box will appear, and this time I want to choose, maybe I want to choose as pivot chart. Okay, so let's do together one by one. So the first step is, what I do is I use my mouse, I click data. Kat sini ada data, I click get data. Kat mana get data? Bukan sebelah kanan, bukan tengah-tengah. The word get data is on your left. Get data. You click get data already, then what you do is you click from file and you click from folder. So sometimes kita ada dokumen dalam PDF, kita ada dokumen dalam Excel, which we did just now. But now I want to import several Excel files. So I click folder. So like I told you, you need to know where you save your file. Sometimes kita save dalam desktop. Sometimes kita save dalam document, downloads. So I save in my desktop. Under desktop, I want to choose case study 2. And like what I mentioned to you, I want to choose the folder which is the claim folder. So claim folder, so I'm going to click this and press open. So once I press open, another box will appear. So when you click the folder already, lagi satu kotak akan keluar. You just press combine and load to. So if just say your data is clean, you just press combine and load to. So you click here, you press combine and load to. Combine and transform means it will go to Power Query. Combine and load means it will load as a table. But I want pivot chart, so I press combine and load to. Tekan combine and load to, you will notice another box will appear. Lagi satu kotak will appear. You need to choose what is your worksheet. Because when you work just say as a procurement assistant, or you work just say maybe as an inventory executive, you will know what is the worksheet. So I'm going to choose claims. And then what I'll do is I'm going to press OK. So this is my reporting, so I press OK. And then the next thing is another box will appear, and what I will do is I will choose pivot chart. So I'm going to choose pivot chart and I'm going to press OK. And just like that, dia akan tunjuk lah, this is our data. So right now what I want to do is I will just click the amount and claim it. There you go. So this is the data. And what is the magic? So people ask me, what is the magic? The magic is, just say I go here, I'll go to my folder, case study 2. So over the claims folder, kat sini ada claims folder. So my dear friends, if you can see the claims folder over here, can you type number 4 in the chat box? Sekiranya anda boleh lihat folder claims ni, sila type nombor 4 dalam chat box. So now if you notice carefully, thank you for typing number 4. So here we do have 001 January, only one file only. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select February, I'm going to select March, I'm going to select April. February, March, April. I'm going to select all these and saya akan masuk dalam claims. When I masuk dalam claims, what I do is I will go to my Excel file. So over here kita ada Excel file kita ni. Kita just press right click and refresh, and just like that you will notice akan ada penambahan. So maybe I need to put it better because sometimes the manager wants maybe monthly reporting. Okay, not by date, by monthly. So you can right click the date, go to group, you will notice a box will appear. You just press OK. And just like that adalah January, February, March, April. So now let me just do one more time. What you do is, just say ada bulan Mei kan. So you put the May inside the claim, and then you go to your Excel file, you just tekan right click and refresh. So I'm going to press refresh, and just like that akan menunjukkan the additional data, which is bulan Mei. Even terbalik is okay. Terbalik means just say bawah claims ni I don't want this one, so I will just select all this file, masuk dalam balik folder ni. So here we only have January, February. So what you can do is you can also right click and refresh, and just like that it will automate. So the beauty is you can actually populate the data. So I'm going to go a bit technical, but you just bear with me. So right now sometimes kita just want to do in one click. So I'll just show you. What if just say I want to click in one click? So for example, this is a coding. You will be surprised what we are doing, but I'll just show you. So I'll just write here SUB. So SUB, maybe I want the name update. Okay, update. Okay, so only 3 lines saja. Dim. Normally in coding we will write like declaring dim. So dim ABC as pivot table. So here I'm going to write here pivot table, and then after that set ABC. Okay, so this one I need to write worksheets. So sheets apa? So here if you notice the name of the worksheet is claims. So I'm going to write here apostrophe CLIMS claims, close bracket, and then pivot table. So which is the pivot table? The pivot tables I'm referring to is, okay, let me just write down. Okay, so the pivot table, this pivot table nama dia adalah pivot table 2. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to write here close apostrophe, close bracket, enter. Then ABC refresh table. So now when I just click here start, you will notice, okay, dia boleh start ni. So you may ask me, what is this coding? Normally when you write coding, you need to have the name. So over here, this is the name of the coding. This is the name of the coding. Then what is dim ABC as pivot table? Dim ABC means we are declaring a variable. Kita declaring ABC to be like pivot table, to be treated like pivot table. It means ABC means pivot table. So we are declaring ABC as pivot table. Once we declare ABC as pivot table, we want to tell the code sebenarnya ABC siapa? ABC is actually, let me just write down, ABC is basically the pivot table 2. Pivot, let me write first, pivot table 2. Pivot table 2 kat mana? Kat mana? Sebenarnya kat the worksheet name claims. And then kalau dia we already declare, we already set, the next step is refresh. So I don't have to right click, I just click one button cukup. So maksudnya what I'm going to do is, you will be wondering why this coding and so on. So I'll go to insert, I go to shape, I just click here and I just write here update. Okay, update. So when I click update, right click, assign macro. So my dear friends, if you see here, there's a word called assign macro. Click assign macro and then click here update and press OK. So right now what happened is, if just say I go my folder here, so dalam folder ni just say I select March, April, and I put inside claims. Now what I do is I go to my Excel file ni and I click update, and just like that it will be populated, it will be automated. So for your monthly task, of course the first month is hard work, cantikkan the graph, cantikkan the grammar and so on. But the subsequent month you just populate. So just say bulan Mei you masuk, and then you just click here update, so ada bulan Mei. Then after that you put the June inside the claims, and then what you do is you just click update, and then after that you can do the same thing for the subsequent months, and you put it over here and you just click update, and just like that it will be populated. So my friends, if you learn something new, can you just type number 5 in the chat box? And but of course, to be fair with you, to be honest with you, Power Query is a very huge topic. It's not for you to learn, oh 1 jam dah cukup dah. It's very huge. So I'll just show to you all, my dear friends. Saya nak just show to something to you. So now kita belajar sikit je. Maybe I will say 1%. 2%. Now we want to understand, okay, power query ni sebenarnya boleh buat apa? Because over here saya tulis nota. I say that power query can do extract, power query can do transform, power query can do load. But sebenarnya apa function transform ni? So let us learn together, deep dive and memahami how power query can transform data. So I will just go to data. So kalau you nak tarik daripada Excel ke, you want to tarik daripada Google Sheet, or you want to tarik daripada PDF, you click data, get data, and then you go where? You go from file, and then you just choose lah Excel ke PDF ke JSON. So I'm going to choose Excel. So now what we want to learn is, we want to learn, okay, what is the function of the features, the interface of Power Query. Okay, so I'm going to go to Power Query ni, and I'm going to press import. So kita ada, this is a bit intense, so I'm going to just select all this. A very simple one, level 1 sampailah level 10, and I'm not going to press load. I want to press transform data, because when you click transform is basically, my dear friends, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, bila kamu tahu Power Query, bukan je kamu boleh belajar Excel. When you know Power Query, kamu juga boleh belajar kat dalam Power BI, because Power Query also is available in Power BI. So I'm going to click all this and press transform data. Okay, dah tekan transform data kan? So you will notice dia akan pindah kepada Power Query Editor. When you click transform data, automatically it will go to Power Query Editor. So where is Power Query Editor? So right now is all the information is loading, and like I told you, dia akan pindah ke Power Query Editor. Apa function dia? Function dia is to do data cleaning. Data cleaning means, you see, normally in some companies they have a template whereby the cell column A ada company name, column the second row ada the, you know, the name of the worksheet, and here we have all the details. So what the manager wants is, maybe the manager wants these two tables saja. So that is where you use the data cleaning tool Power Query. So I don't want this column. This column ni memang tak perlu pun. So if you don't want the column, you can use your mouse and tekan right click and you tekan remove. Why I tekan remove? Because my manager want inventory code, this information saja. So I'm going to press here right click, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to press remove, and just like that the first column sudah hilang. So normally in sometimes some template too, it is not properly in a clean format. Memang data tu is a bit messy. Dia ada banyak tables, banyak blank space and so on. So here there is a word null. So dalam bahasa Jerman, null means zero. Dalam bahasa Jerman, null means is zero. But you pay your money to join this session, not to learn bahasa Jerman. Kamu sebenarnya nak fahamkan Power Query. So in Power Query, null is equivalent to blank space. Kalau cell tu ada blank space, it is null. So what you do is, you can click remove row. It is located on first, second, third row, or you can also remove blank row. So when you click remove blank row, the entire row yang ada null ni, it automatically remove. So over here ada apply steps yang tunjuk. So now what I'm going to do is, I want to put the first row ni is not column 2, column 3. Sebenarnya inventories and code ni is the header. So I click use first row as header. There you go. So automatically the data has been cleaned. And if just say, my dear friends, kalau you want to know this is the steps, kalau kamu salah tekan, just say you click this and you're not able to see the query setting, jangan risau. Over here there is a view. Bawah view ni there is a query settings. You can enable it. So yang ni ada step dia. So it will tell you from which file, it will tell you from what worksheet and all those things sebenarnya. Okay, so let me just press OK. So now let us go to the next part. The next part is level 2. So start with the easy one, level 2. Okay, so level 2, what do you notice is, sometimes the company punya details is, the first row name is always blank. Sometimes ada blank, sometimes ada company name. So apparently here null, blank space. So what my manager want is, my manager want to remove the blank space. So you go to home, you remove row. You want to remove top row also can. Top row means any row yang terletak pada atas. Blank row means any row yang entire row must be blank, entire row must be null. Duplicates ada, alternate ada, bottom row ada, error pun ada. So I'm going to click remove blank row. And then this it's not column 1, it's not column 2, it's not column 3. It is basically the date issue. The header is actually date issued and invoice. So use first row as header. Even over here so pun ada, use first row as header. Meaning to say the first row will be promoted as the header. So I just click over here. And then after that, you will see here got ABC, here got ABC. Why? Because that is a text. But however, here you see 1, 2, 3 and here you see 1, 2, 3 because all this is a number. But apparently kat sini ni, here we have date, here we have date and time. The problem is Power Query pun confused. Yang ni apa ni? So you click the ABC 1, 2, 3. You want to format as a decimal number, or the correct answer will be date, time, date, and so on. So I'm going to click date and automatically it will be standardized. So this is how you clean your data and so on. So let us go to level 3. Okay. So sometimes in this case, we want to actually calculate the profit, whereby profit is revenue minus cost. So this column ni I don't want because sometimes they have the first column tu I tak nak. I can actually press delete. You can right click, tekan remove pun boleh, or you select this column. On your keyboard there is a delete button. On your keyboard there is a delete button. You tekan delete, and just like that it will be removing the column. And then you can put instead of column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, you want to put this is the rail header. In a table, whether you work as a human resource or whether you work as an accountant, every data will have a header name like invoice number, purchase order, GRN number, and so on. So this is the header number. So I'm going to use first row as header. And then after that, because sometimes when it comes to pivot table, it will only accept if the data is clean. But sometimes if the data got merged, if just say got merged means it will show you null. So you don't worry, you just press here right click and you press here fill and then you press here down, and just like that it will fill down. Okay, and then to see here we want to calculate the profit. So revenue tolak cost. In accounting, of course got detail like revenue, COGS, OPEX, but this is a very simple accounting. Revenue tolak cost is profit. So I select revenue, I press shift button, I press the cost, revenue tolak cost, add column, standard, I subtract. Subtract means minus. So when I minus, apparently 32 minus 26 is 6. 12 tolak 1 is 1. So if just say I remove this, I do one more time. So if just say I select the cost, when I choose the cost and I select the revenue, I go add column, standard, and I subtract, you will get an opposite answer because it depends on which column you select. You select which column. Just now I select cost tolak revenue. So the correct answer will be you must select the which is the first column. So revenue tolak dengan cost, and then standard, and then subtract, just like that. You can also do the same thing. For example, like level 2 kan, we have quantity, we have unit price. So apparently those who work in oil and gas, the oil and gas products are normally inventories are expensive, like fuel dispenser, piping and so on. Normally oil and gas product they are expensive. So one unit is about 8,000. Kalau 10 kamu kena darab. So how to darab? You just select these two column, under add column, standard, and multiply, and just like that you boleh multiply dah. So this is how you can do things. Alright, so let's go to level 4. See, level 4 is another interesting thing. Here we have the banks, here we have accounting item, here we have GL item. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show something to you. I'm going to select the year 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. If you notice carefully, I'm selecting all the years. What I want to do is I want to do some transformation. So I go to transform and I click unpivot column, and just like that it is able to transpose the selected column. So maybe let me show you one more time so that you can understand clearly. So kita ada sebenarnya many different column like 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021 and 2022. Sama lah, when you have a template, dia akan ada lah January, February, March, April, which is all by column basis. The January in one column, February in one column, quarter 2 in one column. So what you do, you select all. You can click here unpivot. So unpivot means it will transpose kepada dua column. Or you can actually click here, right click pun boleh, unpivot column. Unpivot column. Even unpivot only selector also can. So I click here unpivot, it will change. So dia akan tukar dia punya bentuk. That is unpivot. So basically when I say Power Query is not something that you learn within 1 hour everything. It's a 2 semester subject. And then let's go to level 5. So level 5 name, of course, what we do have is we do have the customer ID, company name, first name. And when we look at level 6 also, we have customer ID, industry, location. So if you look here carefully, my dear friends, here got customer ID. Here got customer ID. So in Excel, they have VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP. In Power Query, they call it as merge query. Now combine the table. So what I do is, under home, there is a word called merge query. Merge means you akan combine the tables. So I'm going to click here and on merge query as new. So I want to merge what and what? I want to actually merge level 5. So let me just select level 5. Okay, so level 5 and level 6. So I'm not actually able to press OK. Why? Because I need to know what is the common column. In level 5, column yang sama. Okay, see, level 5 dengan level 6, column yang sama. The same column is customer ID, customer ID. So click here customer ID, click here customer ID, and it will show. Macam VLOOKUP, it will show lah how many is matched, how many is not matched, and so on. So here in SQL also, there's this topic right outer, left outer, and so on. But I'll just focus on left outer because I want to just match from this table. So I press OK, and when I press OK, you will notice that dia akan combine the table. And when I scroll right, over here, I just have to expand only. I expand, and maybe I don't want the customer ID, so I unselect this. I unselect this, I press OK, and just like that, they can combine. So if just say match, match means other information. Not match means it will show you none. Like, you know, the VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, if you know, normally what they do is, if just say you want to match, if just say ada error, it will show you NA, not applicable. But in this case, it will show you none. That means there's not match and so on. Alright, so now let us go to the subsequent part, which is level 7. Okay, level 7 ni, what happened is we do have invoice number and the date. If you notice, all this is September, September, September. Even in level 8 also, we have all this is October. So sometimes what we do is we want to combine the tables, not kiri kanan tapi atas bawah. So I can click here, append query SQ, ikut you lah where how many tables you want to combine. So sometimes ada orang dia nak combine 12 months table, 10 tables. I only want to combine 2 tables, which is level 7 and then level 8, because both also have the same header. So when you want to combine atas bawah, because here got invoice date and so on, so what you do is you just press OK. So apparently what happened is here kita ada September, 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 and over here kita ada October. So what Power Query does is melalui append. Append means dia akan combine the table atas bawah. Especially it's useful when you want to combine by location, maybe by header and header, multiple tables and so on. Alright, so let's go to level 9. So level 9, what happened is we do have a very simple table. Ada tarikh, ada customer name, ada products, ada models, ada sales USD. So what if just say in this case, I want to actually know maybe the product sales. So I can go to transform. Over here got group by. I can go to home. Dalam home ni, here also got group by. So click over here, and what happened is, contohlah, I want to know just say products, and so I click here Apple products. I put here the sum. Okay, so I put here the sum, and this one I put the sum of what? Sum of sales. Okay, dia macam pivot table sebenarnya. Sum of sales, so I put here just say total lah, tukar nama kepada total, and then I press OK. And just like that, it is able to generate the summary, the total sales of each particular product. So maybe let me do one more time so that you can get an understanding. So what group by does is, group by dia boleh kumpulkan. We can create a summary. And not only that, just say you want to know by month. So at column, date, month, name of month, kita ada by month name. And then maybe you want to do a group by. Over here pun ada group by. Over here pun ada group by. Click over here. So maybe I want at once. So kat sini maybe I want by month name. Kat sini I want maybe the Apple products. This is the count. So I want to count how many transaction. And maybe I want to count the sum. So I'm going to put here total. Not total date, but total sales USD. Okay. and just like that you can count. Okay, so for January Apple Watch we have what, 54 transactions. This is the total sales and so on. So this is what Power Query does. It's a very huge topic. So now let me just go to level 10. Alright, level 10 not so much. Is basically you can also look over here, kita ada the null. So what I want to do is I want to remove the first row. So you want to remove the top row also can, or like I told you, remove blank row also can. So it will remove, and the date I want to appear as a column 1, ID as column 2. So I click use first row as header because the first row promoted as header, just like that. Settle. And then now just say I want to calculate how old is this person, because this person born in 1995, 1971, 1966. Saya nak tahu berapa usia, what is the age of this person. Or sometimes we also calculate the number of tenure. Tenure means berapa tahun this employee work in this company. So date of birth, I go to add column, year I put here age. So it will show that this person. But what the problem is, we don't calculate age based on hours. So I'll go to transform, duration, total years. So over here will show 31 years old, 43 years old, 55 years old. So what I'll do is I'll click here. I just want maybe a whole number. Of course here what I'll do, I'll just try to move. I'll put here move to the beginning. Okay, and let me just move accordingly, and yeah. So anyone who born in 95 will be 31 years old. Anyone who born in 83 is 43, and so on. So just say you want to know berapa tahun this particular employee kerja here, because there are employees who work 20 years in the same company, 3 years in the same company, 3 years in the the company, and so on. So I want to know how long they work in the company, so that maybe we can give a loyalty rebate and so on. So I click here, I go to add column, and then date ni I click age. I click the age. Of course, it will calculate based on hours. I don't calculate the total tenure, jumlah tahun by hours. I go to transform, and then duration, berapa lama, total years. And then I nak gerakkan, so I'll just move maybe to the beginning, and let me just gerak accordingly. Okay, so we have this data. So this one, yeah, I don't want the decimal, so I'll just put to round off to whole number. So anyone who start working in 2021 is already like 5 years already. 5 years means like, it's sekarang is 2026, so it's about 2021 to 2026, about 5 years and so on. So if just say you want to go back to your Excel, bawah home, you can click close and load. In Power BI will be close and apply. In Excel will be close and load. So you just click over here, and just like that, it will eventually load as a table format. So you want to load as a connection ke, or you want to load as a table ke, it's actually up to you. So basically it's up to you actually. So what we learned in this past 1 hour, in this 1 hour ni, we actually learn about Power Query. That means how to import Excel to Excel, how to import Excel to from folder, and so on. So my dear friends, if you have any questions, you can actually type your questions in the chat box. So now we will try to proceed to the next part, which is the Q&A section. So just to let you know what we learn about Power Query. We learn about the introduction. We learn Power Query can do ETL. We learn what is the process, change data source, import, disclaimer, and so on. So if you have any questions, you can type your questions in the chat box. Otherwise, we can maybe finish earlier. And maybe recording I can just give you via WhatsApp ke ataupun via email ke apa. So if you have any question, you can type in the chat box.